Well, we're on to the final segment of this morning's edition of News and Views, the Friday edition. And we're still staying with the Africa Muslim Agency Golf Day coming up this coming Sunday on the 19th, and all in aid of the Amman School of Excellence. And we have been talking to a number of sponsors, and one more sponsor we're talking to, and the pleasure of an in studio interview with the owner and principal of Eduheart Academy, Zohra Adam. Zohra, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome, and I'm glad you could make it to the studio.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, obviously, Sunday is going to be a big day, a golf day, and I'm sure, you are very, very excited. And for someone in education as well, being the principal and of Eduheart Academy, and we know the greater purpose behind the AMA Golf Day is going to be in aid of the Amman School of Excellence.
Yeah.
But let's just start off and putting things into context. For listeners who may not know your company, who may not know Eduheart, and if you could briefly describe your company and the core work that you do.
Sure. Eduheart Academy is a value-driven preschool and homeschool based in Lenasia, South Johannesburg, serving learners from as young as 3 years old, grade R, up to grade 3 currently. Our core work is delivering quality education that develops the whole child, technologically, academically, socially, and emotionally. But we are also very involved in humanitarian work and community development. We believe that every child deserves a safe, inspiring environment where learning, character, and community come together. Its inception in 2018 was the idea born to serve my own child who was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes at the mere age of 2 years old, and due to many different schools being unable to provide her medical assistance and attention, such as observing her constant sugar levels or dispensing her insulin, Eduheart was born to create an environment for my daughter and others like her who wanted to grow, explore, and discover a normal schooling lifestyle without the trauma of being too much to handle. And this grew, alhamdulillah, into something so much bigger, such as community building and humanitarian assistance, and so much more.
Well, the name Eduheart actually speaks volumes. You've got your heart in education, and
100%.
that if we just got to break it down. But again, once again, you talk about this humanitarian spirit as well, and this humanitarian spirit is going to feature very, very prominently at the AMA Golf Day. Just looking at your sponsorship motivation, what motivated your company to become a sponsor?
Education doesn't happen in isolation. The challenges some of our learners and the community we are in face, such as food insecurity, access to resources, community well being, are challenges for all of us. When we heard about AMA Charity Golf Day, we saw an opportunity to stand alongside an educational organization that not only meets the educational needs, but so many more needs head on. So, sponsoring this day was our way of investing beyond our school gates.
Well, certainly, and also obviously there is a humanitarian alignment. That I see featuring very, very strongly as well, because again, with this partnership with yourselves and AMA brings about, the core issues or that you align with as well, and you identify with things like the company's values and your broader social responsibility goals that you aim to achieve.
Certainly. So, EduHeart's values are compassion, service, and upliftment. AME's work in water, food, security, education, and disaster relief speaks directly to the dignity and opportunity we want for every child. This partnership reflects our belief that schools have a role to play in a broader social responsibility, not just in the classroom.
Well, certainly, but also using sports as a platform, because this is important. Because again, sports we know is a powerful tool for fundraising to raise awareness as well, but also in terms of networking for charity.
Certainly. So, sport brings people together as equals. And when you're on the golf course, job titles fall away and the real conversations happen. That connection is powerful. It turns networking into impact. Golf days like this raise critical funds, but they also raise awareness and build a community of people who are committed to the same cause.
Yes, but also I know I noticed you mentioned impact. And let's talk about the expectations from your part in terms of the impact that this event will have on the communities that AMA supports.
I hope that this event translates into a tangible change. Clean water for a family, meals for children, learning materials for a classroom, more support for private schools like Aman School for the underprivileged. For AMA's beneficiaries, I hope it means relief and dignity. For our sector, I hope it reminds us that when we collaborate, our reach multiplies.
Yes, we live in a society where there are many social challenges as well. And just looking at it from a corporate perspective, and, often we hear the term corporate social responsibility. Just your thoughts on that?
So in South Africa, the scale of need means we all have a part to play. The private sector, schools, NGOs, the civil society are all co creators of this future. If we have resources, influence, or a platform, it then means we have a social responsibility to use it to address these social challenges. No one can do it alone, but everyone can do something, and together we can do better for a better tomorrow for our children who are then the future leaders of South Africa.
Of course. Now, Zora, obviously being in business and looking at it from a business perspective, and we know that, there are business models that one talks about, but I think beyond business, beyond philanthropy, what value do you see in being associated with initiatives like this from a business and a branding perspective?
For Eduheart, being associated with AMA reinforces who we are, a school that leads with values and acts with purpose. It builds trust with our parents, our staff, our community, and our partners. It also shows our learners what active citizenship looks like. So, long term partnerships built on integrity attract the right people and the right opportunities.
Well, clearly, but it's also driven by leadership. And, for someone like yourself, as the owner, as the principal, again, it's about a personal commitment that you are making. And just to talk about some of the issues that actually drive this personal commitment to, especially to community focused initiatives like this one that AMA is hosting this Sunday.
So, as a principal, I see daily how community conditions shape a child's ability to learn and thrive. My commitment comes from knowing that education is stronger when the community is stronger. So, if I use my voice and our school's platform to support work like this that uplifts families and learners, that's simply part of the job.
Well, certainly. And also, I think it's all about networking, it's about collaboration as well. And just looking at your experience working with AMA right until now in the build up to the event on Sunday.
Working with African Muslims Agency for many years now has been professional, purposeful, and inspiring. There's a clear focus on impact and deep respect for partners. They've welcomed us as collaborators, and that spirit of service has defined every step in the build up towards this golf day.
Well, obviously, this golf day is going to be a huge event, but I'm sure looking ahead, it's not going to be a once off event because, looking at the company now that you've got a footprint and your involvement, in humanitarian work and humanitarian efforts or even sports initiatives as well going to the future.
Definitely, we don't see this as a once off. We're committed to finding more ways to collaborate with AMA and other like minded organizations, whether that's around youth development, community outreach, or educational initiatives where we can add value. We will definitely be showing up.
Okay, let's talk about the message because this is all important coming from a principal. And normally, principals' messages are actually very, very powerful, Zora. As well, what message would you like to send to, people who are participating, sponsors, listeners ahead of this golf day?
To every player, sponsor, and listener joining us at the Royal Johannesburg, I think I'd like to say thank you for being part of something bigger than just a round of golf. Your participation drives real help to real people. It provides a solid foundation and an impactful education that can only benefit a child and a community, keeping kids off the streets and in the classrooms. So I want everyone to enjoy the day, connect with purpose, and that their presence matters, and also that you have made a huge difference and impact in at least one child's life.
Absolutely. Just in closing, a reflection, perhaps to sum it up in a single sentence, what would you say, Zora?
From Eduheart Academy's perspective, the Golf Day is where compassion meets action so that every child in our school and beyond can face their future with impactful opportunity and dignity.
Well, I know Mohammed Tahir Hamid has been listening in to this interview, and I'm hoping to get discussion. I want to keep often listening. Mohammed Tahir, you still with us?
Yep. Yes, I'm here, Uncle Unite.
Well, you've heard
Alhamdulillah.
the entire discussion I've had with Zora Adam. Your
Yep.
thoughts?
So, Alhamdulillah, like I say, Uncle Inayat, you've seen the partners, you've seen the sponsors that have come through, and you'd understand, based on the interviews that you've been having with these various sponsors, as to why an organization like African Muslim Agency would partner, talking about their ethics, talking about their sincerity. And, Eduheart is one of those. Companies that know education, and obviously instrumental in assisting and guiding as well when it comes to the kids and so on. So every person, like I said, plays a role, and alhamdulillah, key influential person like Zora assisting and guiding us through various aspects of education as well at Amman School.
Well, Mohammed Tahir, Jazakallah khairan so much for that, and also for staying with us throughout the second half of the entire show together with the sponsors as well. Looking forward to meeting up on Sunday, inshallah, and more importantly, the success of this initiative, and also in terms of the greater objective in making a difference to humanity and to the children, to Amman School of Excellence as well, inshallah. So we make dua that all goes well come Sunday.
Jazakallah, Uncle Inayat. Look forward to seeing you there. And once again, to those that have not, still taken on or onboarded onto this opportunity, there are still places available. Please do feel free to contact any of our offices across the country, Johannesburg, Cape Town, Durban, or myself on 083-293-0504, so that you could be part of this amazing initiative.
Jazakallah for that, and have a wonderful Jummah as well, Tahir. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Well, Zora, Tahir summed it up quite well as well, and we must thank you as well for taking time out. I know busy schedule as well, and for a principal to get out of school during work hours, obviously, he's taken a lot of sacrifice. But Jazakallah for coming out as well and sharing what you have with us. We wish you all the best. We wish Eduheart the best as well, and may you just grow from strength to strength, inshallah.
Inshallah. Thank you so much for having me in studio. It was absolutely amazing. And inshallah, we hope that many more companies collaborate with Africa Muslims Agency, because if you don't know what you're missing out on.
Certainly do. Jazakallah for that. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Well, then, just to remind our listeners and viewers, once again, the AMA Johannesburg inaugural Golf Day at the Royal Johannesburg Golf Course comes to Sunday, the 19th of April. And also, just some of the key times, registration from 9:30 a.m., tee-off at 11:30, at around 4 p.m. I know there is going to be a presentation as well. And it's going to be a wonderful day. So if you're doing nothing, please just come along. Whether you're playing golf, you're not playing golf, please come along and come and enjoy this day. And with that, I'm going to be signing off. Once again, an absolute pleasure being in your company on this Jummah edition of News and Views right here on Salam Media. From myself and the team, have a great Jummah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Africa Muslim Agency's Golf Day on the 19th of April, literally a few days away. We are here ready to welcome you to have a day of fun-filled activities together with our sponsors, well-wishers, all for the good cause of education. Come through to the Royal Johannesburg Golf Course and participate in this amazing initiative.